Hi, let us try another example, doing curtailments of reinforcement in simply supported beam based on the simplified curtailment rules as given in the diagram here. You know that this simplified rules is only applicable when the member is subjected to substantially uniformly distributed load. And in order to work out the final detailings of the reinforcement, we will take into the considerations of the minimum bar spacing, allowing good compactions of concrete as well as good bond with the reinforcement, having the reinforcement symmetrically arranged over the cross sections, following the typical industrial practices, fulfilling the requirements of the curtailment, and also rounding the dimensions to the nearest 25 mm for easy conversions between SI unit and the imperial units, knowing that 25 mm equals to 1 inch. Now, given the dimensions of the beam, having the cross sections of 230 times 600 mm, the beam has a span of 7.5 meter, and the amount of reinforcement bar required at the midspan, it would be 5 units of H16 reinforcement. First, let us look at the minimum spacing. The minimum spacing is governed by 3 factors here: the bar size, the aggregate size plus 5 mm, and a nominal of 20 mm. The bar size is given 16. The maximum aggregate size, it will be 20. Plus 5, it will give you 25. And then a nominal of 20 mm. The bigger value of the 3 will govern the minimum bar spacing. That means the minimum spacing, it will be 25. And then given the concrete cover is 35 and the size of the shelling 8 mm. First, we will need to determine the arrangements of the reinforcement bar at the midspan. 5 units of bar H16 over the cross section. These are the potential arrangements of the reinforcement. You can have all 5 units of reinforcement in one layer, or you can arrange the reinforcement in double layer with 3 bars below and 2 bars on top. Of course, the priority shall be given to one single layer, provided that the minimum spacing is fulfilled. If the reinforcement is too congested, then you will need to stack the reinforcement for a greater spacing between reinforcement. Let us first try to calculate the spacing between the reinforcement based on this arrangement. Given the width of the beam is 230, your concrete cover is 35 and your shelling is 8 mm. Take 230 minus 2 concrete cover minus 2 units of the shelling minus 5 units of H16 rebar divided by 4 spacing between the reinforcement. The spacing available between the reinforcement, it will be 16, which is less than the minimum spacing. Therefore, this mode of arrangements of reinforcement bar cannot be applied, leaving us to the next option here, stacking the reinforcement bar over another. Now you need to recalculate again the spacing. 230 minus concrete cover 35 times 2 minus the shelling at mm times 2 minus 3 units of 16 mm diameter bar divided by 2 spacing in between the bars. The calculated spacing between the bar, it would be 48. which is this. Now that you know the midspan reinforcement, it will be something like this. We're going to work out the reinforcement at the support. Based on the curtailment rules here, you need at least 50% of the reinforcement based on the midspan reinforcement. You have 5 units of H16 rebar. By curtailing some of the rebar here, you make sure the total leftover should not be less than 50%. This leads to you the amount of reinforcement bar of 3 at the support, constituting 60% of the amount of reinforcement bar at the midspan. In another word, these 2 bars shall be curtailed, and the locations of the curtailment, it will be at 0.08 times the effective length. Taking this 0.08 times 7,500, your curtailment locations, it will be 600 mm. The dimension here is in the round number to the nearest 25 mm. Therefore, we will stick to this 600 mm. As a result, a simply supported beam with a dimensions of 230 times 600 at the clear span of 7.5 meter with the midspan reinforcement 5H16, which shall be arranged in this mode in order to fulfill the minimum spacing. And near to the support here, 2 reinforcement bars shall be curtailed, leading to these arrangements of the reinforcement bar at the support, constituting 60%, which is greater than the requirement of 50%. And the curtailed locations, it will be at 0.08 times the effective length, which is 600 mm from the support.